Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm here with Jonathan, and I've been nuked. There it is. So just decontaminating takes about 16 hours, and only about 2 hours left. And I do think I've still got a level 2 arms industry. Population down to 1. Oh, so it's got 846% as the building's effect. So I guess that's the decontamination. So population will quickly increase, maybe. Penalty from contamination minus 100%. So start with the hospital. Poor Adana. This will be the third rebuild I've got to do on them.
I'm surprised there's anyone left.
I'm surprised. Anyone wants to live in Turkey anymore, because it's a dangerous city. Oh God, we didn't say, Jonathan, we held Istanbul against all odds. It was a crazy battle.
That was a long night.
We were up to about...
There was a lot of to and froing. What did we fight off? Like 10 strikes, an elite bomber.
2 elite bombers, yeah.
We covered a load of it in our episodes, but
check out the mini.
We might as well give a quick summary.
Yeah.
He moved in a big stack of a couple of tank destroyers, a couple of mechanized armored fighting vehicles, and 2 different officers. And behind it, he had a big stack of theatre defense, anti-air,
and rockets.
Yeah, he had rockets, did he?
He had a stack of rockets with an officer on the rockets as well.
Wow.
Tim was able to take them out with his airborne, and also he took out so he took out the support vehicles, the big stacks with his airborne. It was an absolute miracle. And so, yeah, those troops are amazing, because we would have been, struggling if we were taking on a stack of. Well, we struggled anyway. We had all of our ships around on the coast. Check out the mini updates, and we just pelted him, and over time, death by 1,000 cuts. By the time he got to Istanbul, he was on, and I was writing down numbers, he was on something like 143 health, where he started off on about 336, and his offence had gone all the way down to about 39. But he had, so we'd taken out a tank destroyer, we'd taken out a main battle tank, but he'd still got his tank commander. And I looked at the stats, and the tank commander has huge stats, and he's got like 75 hit points. And I only had, in the end, 4 armoured fighting vehicles and a couple of mobile SAMs, because I sent a couple out to sacrifice them to try and slow him down, and sent my theatre defence out the back to try and save him. I don't know what happened to him. He went, but because Tim was able to take out the theatre defence in the back, or at least stop them, the air defence stack was still there. There was mobile SAM, there was theatre defence, and anti-air, I think, was there, John? Do you remember what made it up?
Yeah, it was a couple of theatre defence, a few SAM turrets, and a couple of the mobile anti-air, although they didn't really do much.
Yeah, because Tim stopped them, and so it got to a point where his tanks were on the edge of the range, and Jonathan was just going for it with his strikes. You had about, 10, and you lost a strike on the first attack. You say the story, anyway.
So they were getting closer and closer, so I had to get in my strikes there right away. I started off with 7. I actually only lost 2 in the end, so that's how important it was to kill the anti-air.
Cool.
I think I've got about 5 or 6 kills with them. It's kind of hard to tell. I've got 23 in total with this stack now, because they've been clearing up a lot of rogue troops over in Turkmenistan. But yeah, it was quite a short hop between Ankara and where they were in Istanbul. So I didn't actually count, but probably gotten about 5 or 6 hits, and actually ended up killing one of the infantry officer.
Yeah, it was critical. Without that attack, I'd have lost Istanbul, and I thought I was going to lose Istanbul anyway, but I was sending everything I had. My rockets were up here in the mountains with a buff, and they were fight, raining down, and we had all of our boats chipping away. I even sent my air superiority fighters at him, chipping it off. And
Yeah.
woke up this morning, and your message, Jonathan, is we held Istanbul. And what else did you say?
There's been other stuff going on overnight. It turns out Norway is fighting multiple battles. So are his coalition members. Not exactly sure what Ireland's doing. Basically, the entrance to the Mediterranean near Morocco, Argentina and Brazil have been duking it out with Norway. Somewhere around here, I'm not sure exactly. Apparently, Norway's been sending a load of boats over the same subs and losing them. And then he retaliated by sending a lot of missiles to destroy Brazilian transport ships. And if you look in the newspaper, Brazil's actually lost 12,000 units. So it kind of just displays this figure as like the total number of people that have died. And Norway's only lost 700.
Oh my God. So they've lost 13,500 units and Norway 751.
Yep.
So Marine... Oh, he's got... Oh my God. I didn't even think Norway had helicopters, but he's got an elite helicopter wing.
Oh, of course he has.
Ooh. Okay, we don't have that cruise missile he's sent there. We're just seeing elite... Brazil has been destroyed by... Oh, so he's got an elite wolf pack, whatever that is.
That is the elite subcommander, and that's really just been cleaning up transport ships, I reckon.
It looks like he's got an elite officer for everything, although we took out his elite infantry officer and his elite tank officer. I presume he's replaced them by now. We'll get everything back up and running. So, didn't take too much damage. Unfortunately, did lose all the infrastructure on Adana. I thought I had it covered by theatre defence, but it wasn't, because I was moving it for more coverage as another one was coming out. So that's a bit of a silly one. And, of course, took a bit of a hit on Istanbul for some reason. I wonder if he got a missile through. I lost my underground bunker at some point. I think he got missiles through. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he was... aside from the nuke, he managed to destroy all of Tim's airborne with strike fighters.
Yeah.
We didn't quite have enough air support for that. I've lost a couple of planes. You've lost some combat recons and some motorized, but he's definitely sustained far more losses than us. And it was a very good trade.
And he sent a shower, and Ireland, they sent showers of missiles at us constantly, and check out some of the updates. It was crazy. It was really nice. Some really nice, very short videos on some of the action. So woke up this morning and I had left 2 armoured fighting vehicles, and that was it. And they were on half health, so I only just held on. And I'm looking at a stack now that's on Istanbul. It's got 3 multiple rocket launchers, tank destroyer, 4 armoured fighting vehicles, some mobile anti-air, and a combat recon. And that's the big stack. Finally got there from the south. Do you remember I sent it all the way down to help Jonathan with Mozambique, just to give him a bit of a push? And it's taken days and days and days to get back up. And some of it's still coming, so... The theatre defence, I split everything off from it because it's so slow, and just sent the theatre defence up on its own, so that's going to arrive in Istanbul in about 8 hours. Fingers crossed, because I think I do need a theatre defence sitting on Istanbul, and there's another one. Jonathan's sending a mobile radar, great. And...
actually send in a bunch of stuff, because I've got a plan.
Okay, we'll hear from you in a sec then, because I'll finish off. What was part of the stack down in the south was a multiple rocket launcher and a SAM that was with the theatre defence. I split them off, and they're just about to hit Istanbul. So I've got my big stack reinforcing the front line just in the nick of time. You can't even make it up. And thank God, because I need it, and I can hold the front line. I think. But we need more ships. We need more ships. Are you building lots of ships, Jonathan?
I'm not building lots. I have built some subs, and I'm upgrading my destroyers.
Nice.
So yeah, we've got lots of time. I don't think Norway's going to be sending navy to us anytime soon.
Yeah, well, luckily and hopefully we've got Argentina and Brazil holding them off, because I think we'd struggle a navy attack from Norway. So, but we bore the brunt of a huge air-land attack on Istanbul, our very front line, and got the National Guard in. They're going to land grab. Got a frigate out there for support. The frigates have just been amazing. I really recommend it. You know, I don't know what would have done without the frigates, really. They've been great support. And your naval officer, so they've got air defence. And yeah, I've just got to build it back. I've got to build back more SAMs, because I lost a lot on Istanbul. It was I've lost a lot of air defence on Istanbul, and hopefully that'll arrive very quickly. But in the meantime, I am a bit open. So, yeah, rebuild Adana. Antalya survived, which is my other component city. So I've got good components coming out of that now. And pumping out National Guard with the supplies and the components that I've got that I can't use up, because I'm back down on electronics. Just can't cut a break on electronics with some of my cities. But, oh, what a battle. It was great. It's made the game for me.
It was really good. I've kind of decided that having a successful defense is a lot more entertaining than a successful attack.
Yeah, that was cracking. Oh, and well, someone said something random in the comments. They reckon possibly National Guard troops can help to replenish health somehow. I think they might have got the wrong end of the stick. Basically, depending on the province they are mobilised in, so Antalya, for example, my province there is on 74% morale, and so the National Guard will be mobilised with 74% of their health. So we have a look at this National Guard, that's the most recent one that's popped out. It's on 11.2% health, so then you need to sort of sit them on your cities to replenish the health if you want to, or just send them out as cannon fodder. And that's what we're using them as. A little bit of bait on a line. We've got a couple of frigates here, maybe to cover a little bit of anti-air, but we just want them to land grab, and if they're destroyed, not to be too upset about it, because they're quite cheap. But I think if they're upgraded, they're not bad. And actually, the more I play this game, the more I change my mind about how I might play in the future, because I think as a starting tactic you could pump out a few National Guards quite cheaply, just to give you a bit more volume when you're starting out. What do you think?
I've never used them before. They seem incredibly weak.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see if you can make it work, and I want to know exactly how the health works, and how you can maximize that, and if it does go above the amount it states on the unit page, or if it dips below it if the morale is less than 100.
They're good against
troops. Interesting
troops.
to see.
They get plus 50% buff in urban environments and suburban on defence. They've got to have a value, and even if it's just literally sitting one on each city, just as a little bit of a line of defence, just maybe they're going to have a value. And I've got the first series we did, check it out, it's on the channel. The first series we did, I focused on main battle tanks, mechanised infantry, and then all the rest of the stuff. This game I focused on really armoured fighting vehicles, and I dipped into a couple of tank destroyers as kind of the main offense, and then lots of support vehicles. And then I think in the next game, whenever that will be, once we've recovered from this, I do want to explore some of the other units that I just haven't used. Maybe National Guard, maybe Airborne. but I'm not sure yet, so we're going to have to see how that goes. But I must say I do like the armoured fighting vehicles, but whenever I've come up against main battle tanks, they're just huge bulldozers that are really difficult to take down, so it's difficult really to think what the best stack is that you can put together. Very difficult.
Kind of come full circle, and I think strike fighters are the absolute best unit because I mean, look, Norway had some pretty legitimate anti-air, but otherwise they've been great for cleaning up absolutely everyone else. And I've still got a soft spot for the airborne because they've just wreaked so much devastation, and they were the key to winning that defence against Norway.
They saved our skin. Tim saved our skin, really, and you.
Yeah,
and a bit of me.
Absolutely.
We all worked
so
very well together.
I'm making one more just to try and take some little islands and to maybe just like sway a future fight or two.
Oh yeah, if there's any way you can get to those new Yugoslavia islands, I might just build a naval infantry. Can I get rid of that? Yeah, I'm not going to build a frigate for a while. I'm in such a deficit.
I think you should pump out some National Guard just to sit on some cities.
Yeah.
My plan is like Norway's spent a lot of missiles, and even if he's making some more of his officers with gold, then there'll be a couple of days before he makes another stack. So I want to push up as soon as possible and just take as many cities as I can, just to buy you some time. If he wants to push back, he'll either have to take the land we've just taken, or he'll have to take it from the Chosen. I think what I'm going to do is, starting from tomorrow, I'm just going to push up a stack all the way through Croatia and Serbia, and just see how far I can get.
Be an interesting test. I don't think you'll last very long, but we've got to start pushing forwards, and I'm going to start pushing forward as well with National Guard. I'm just going to invest in air defence now, I think, because I don't know, it's difficult.
What I'll need is some frigates, because if I can push up through Sofia and Belgrade, then this river north of Constanta, you could get some ships down there and provide some really good coverage, and then I could even loop round to Timisoara and Craiova, and then come all the way back round to Odessa perhaps. And then once I get to like Kiev, then there's another river which would get me quite close to Finland and about halfway to Norway's home cities. And perhaps somewhere like Mogliev or the Resniki complex would be a key location to hold to start an offensive on Norway's home cities.
That sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like that's going to take a while as well. I'll bring us back, actually, to the first time I had frigates that far was Poltova, and I had 2 frigates and 4 destroyers. Nice little stack, really early on in the game as well. And he just took it out with missiles in seconds. You saw that on one of the episodes. But now I've upgraded my frigates. They are on level 5 now. I've really focused on them because I've had to, because the air defence and the missiles and needing that mobile air-sea defence. So since those dark old days, Jonathan, they're level 5 instead of maybe level 1. They've got 4 attack and defence on missiles, 8.5 attack on planes, because one thing that delivered missiles to that stack, of boats that died, was a stealth fighter that Norway's got. They've got everything. They've got a stealth stack, they've got every officer, they've got it all. And so what I will need for your plan is a stack of probably 5 frigates. Now I've got 4, so I kind of need more if they're going to go out on their own and be big boys and go away from some of the protection of the SAM defence and theatre defence I've got here. I'm going to have to go for a full stack and equally be prepared to lose them, but it will be very interesting to see what they're like. But I want to build some more, just so I've got a couple around my home cities, because they have been so useful. So the question is,
I feel like we need to bring the fight to them slightly, and then if we can create a front line, then anything that's going on in Greece, like you could gradually start taking the cities and holding them. But I feel like by the time we've cleaned up Greece and started to take some more provinces off of them, like he'll have another attack ready, and we'll just end up losing it all again.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the good thing is that we've got Brazil, Argentina fighting them now, so there is a hope, even though it still seems forlorn. And interestingly, I don't know if you've seen it, but California Republic have chipped into Japan in the north, near Alaska. Ooh. over the pond. So that's the North American Alliance finally doing something. It's a minor miracle, because they've just kind of sat there the whole game.
I didn't mention before, but Japan, he's been fighting with New Zealand and he's lost a lot of troops. I don't know if he's AFK or he's just fighting things badly, but they were kind of sharing Indonesia and the Philippines before, but now New Zealand's completely taken over. So it looks like he's going to win the fight on this side of the map.
Yeah, Japan's lost 2 of his home cities.
Wow, really?
So that is really, really, really good. And what have we heard from New Zealand? They've got like 45 ships.
45 ships, yeah, because he wanted a lot of our fuel.
Cool.
So
have you pointed out to him that you can just buy it in the shop? Or is that someone that's put up 25,000? Is that you?
That is me.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
25,000, and I've got another 10,000 to boot if he wanted it.
Should you be charging a bit more?
I mean, like that's already 150,000. So enough for 15 officers. Like I don't need any more than that.
But what I'm saying is, do we want to be giving away cheap fuel? I mean, what is our end game? Do we just want to do everything we can to help them? Or do we want to help them as much as we can, not too cheaply, because then we're going to fight them? Or when this is all over, are we saying we're not going to fight them?
We're definitely going to fight them when this is over.
Okay.
He doesn't have enough money to buy fuel at a higher price. He actually got in touch to see if I had any, but he ended up spending it on agents anyway. So we know he's got a lot of hourly cash. So I mean, like it might be a good idea to limit the supply of fuel, but like in my mind, I'd rather have the cash now to just try and make Norway cities go rogue.
Okay, fine. And I've got plenty of cash. I can sustain a fair old attack. I've got 7 counter-ops permanently on my cities, 1 on each of my home cities, and then I've got 10 agents that I can sustain every day in attack against him easily, and I can potentially build that slowly, but I'll see what happens after tonight, because I built a bit of money today. Maybe because I'm not able to build anything, so I've been a bit wrecked. But have you got any spare electronics?
I haven't, no. I've just invested in annexing an electronic city, my first annex city in the Juba complex. So that means I can build troops in there. It's not terribly important. I don't think I will be making troops there, but more importantly, the more of these annex cities we have, the better, because they'll become fallbacks for if in the worst case scenario we lose our home cities. So like when you've got a bit more disposable resources, I think you should annex the Medina complex. I mentioned that before. And all of these dome cities, they'll be like really great little safe havens. I want to get if I ever get the resources. Don't forget, I've lost my home cities 2 or 3 times now. You've been battered,
I'm just trying to hold and survive, really. But go ahead and annex in your little safe haven where you've never been touched.
I've been keeping quiet. Like I've been really wanting to wind Norway up because he's been talking a lot of crap. But then I just think like I haven't got any theatre defence on my cities, and I don't really want to get nuked.
Yeah, I know. Let me take the flak. I can. I'm happy to take the flak while we keep you boys safe, and yeah, we'll just quietly and slowly push up. I was thinking, is it worth just kind of sitting back a bit, taking a bit, and just letting them get a bit more angry with the others? But let's go for it. Let's play it to win it.
I feel like just as soon as we can knock him out, the better, and then he will quit when he realises he can't win. And then Ireland's not much of a threat, so it will just be a case of racing to take all of Europe. So as much National Guard as you can pump out, I think that's actually quite a good idea, just for to sit on cities.
Yeah, okay. And the more of Europe we can get, the more chance we stand against the rest of the world. Oh,
and thinking about it, there's
in Madagascar. It's just their ships.
They've got a lot of ships, a lot of aircraft. He's just literally formed a bit of a wall there, anticipating me coming over. But I'm not going to. He can sit there and make as many planes and boats as he wants, but he's only going to be able to make so many with the 9 cities he has. So I'm keeping down like a launcher and a SAM and a radar just to keep an eye on him. But I don't expect he's going to do anything. If he does, by that point, I'll probably just be able to melt him.
Yeah. Okay, good. And no one's taken Niger yet. So you can see how they've shifted their focus to really going for Norway and forgetting about Niger a bit, really.
Yeah, the land there shifted a bit. So some of the Nigerian troops have actually been scrapping with Brazil. And I might take advantage and just take whatever remaining land there is from Niger and Nigeria. Although I won't be able to link up the 2 areas because Brazil has taken right up to Algeria there. And you can see Argentina is moving up some more troops. I don't really know what his plan is. I spotted a load of naval contacts earlier, which concerned me. It looks like he's kind of moving them east, and I had this idea where perhaps I want to take Palermo, but it looks like he might beat me to that. Ultimately, this victory site in northwest of Italy, that will be one to really aim for. So with my big stack that I'm sending through Europe, I'm thinking maybe that would be a good place to go instead. I'm not really sure what you think. Should I head east and up to more of the Russian cities, or should I go towards the Munich complex and this victory site?
I'm not really sure.
It's a tricky one.
I just don't know how we're going to take on Norway. I think we just need to inch our way forward and just see how much land we can take and where we can hold. I think we're going to get some surprises. I'd be surprised if you could keep your big stack intact all the way to the Munich complex, but brilliant. If you can, go for it. I mean, so we've got this coastline, haven't we, that we can use our frigates in between Italy and Europe. And the frigates have been a huge help. So we could hug the coast using frigates to take a bit of land. And then what we could do is, just go up the coast with some frigates, take the land in, from sort of Greece all the way up to Munich complex or whatever. And then we can hop over and maybe try and annex Italy. And that way we can just use our boats to help us, because we know they've been a big help so far. We can send boats down this river. I'd rather not go down that little river, which is a bit of a death zone, bit of a death valley to get stuck in. I'd rather not go there first, but test how far we can get, maybe going up that wide a bit in between Italy and Europe. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds good actually.
Cool.
I would love to take some cities too, but I just like all of my troops. They're still in Mozambique. Every time I log on, I get like 20 notifications, and that's just me taking provinces. And I've only taken about half of his lands.
Well, that's good. I mean, you're growing stronger, and I mean, we definitely need to pump out more navy. I'm literally just going to build frigates, but I've only got one city that can do it, and no electronics. But I'll build up my electronics, soon enough, because luckily enough, my arms industry level 5 stayed intact. Lost a lot of population, so I'm building a hospital. Got the bunker back, rebuilt that overnight. Just needed repairing, I think. And then, yeah, I'm going to pump out National Guard. They can do city sitting. They can sit on the cities, and we're just going to take what we can with boat support. I would say you need a bit of anti-air for your boats.
You
need some frigates.
You and Tim are making frigates. I think I should try and get out some cruisers.
Yes. Well, you could do homeland defence then, and stay, within the theatre defence. Because if you send your boats out without air support, well, for example, Norway will smash them with missiles, and Ireland, and Argentina will smash them with his 15 naval strike fighters. So that's what we're up against. So yeah, the more anti-air boats I can build, the better. Just going for.
I've got a load of SAM turrets. I'm actually hoping to come against some strike fighters. It's just the missiles that scare me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can't put SAM turrets on your boats and float them down the river as well. But you've got them positioned around though. Yeah, it does worry me that Argentina is coming up the coast. They're definitely going to use
trust him.
Do you?
Yeah. We've been put in this position where facing this giant of Norway, we have no choice but to trust him. So I mean, it'll all change once he's out of the picture, and we'll have to reassess that. But without Argentina and Brazil also going to war with Norway and Ireland, it may have been a lot worse for us.
Yeah, they would have probably destroyed me already if they didn't have to focus on those guys as well. Or say, for example, we were at war with, Brazil, Argentina, and those lot, and Norway would just be at war with the world, and it would be impossible. So we've got the best scenario in a way where we're all going against Norway, and we're all losing troops and stuff. It's the best scenario, but I would say we really need to build up our strength, because the Brazil coalition have got some pretty serious stuff going on. New Zealand in there.
They've lost a lot of it. So if they keep losing it at this rate, by the time we've dealt with Norway, may just be ready to launch an immediate counter-attack and kick them out of Africa first of all.
Yeah, well, that's what we want. We want them weak enough and us strong enough, and that's the game, to play the balance, build your strength, ultimately win.
We want to support Argentina to take a lot of Ireland's land, just to give them an outlet as well, something to do. Whereas if we hadn't supported that, then they may have just decided to take Algeria straight away.
Yeah.
And that would have been impossible to fight off at the same time as Norway.
I mean, ideally they'd be cracking into them by now. Has Norway and Ireland taken the fight to them?
Well, yeah, they've been fighting somewhere off this west coast, and he was talking about subs being in the Mediterranean Strait. So I mean, cool. Maybe I'll start to question it again if I don't see any incursion in the next day or so. I've got radars keeping an eye on his movements. You've got to remember that.
Well, they're basically defending us from the subs. We couldn't have taken that sub attack, so we're very lucky that Argentina took them on.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see. It's a very tough position to be in, and it's going to be difficult dealing with whatever troops are still in the Mediterranean in a week's time. But we really had no choice.
Yeah. Well, we're doing the best with the hand we've been dealt. I'm amazed I'm even still in the game from that missile attack on all of my home cities all those days ago. And we'll come back and we'll fight back and we'll see if we can win this thing. You never know. You never know. Any last thoughts, Jonathan?
I was just looking at how many people Norway is at war with.
Oh,
The
yes.
war with about 12 people is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so, I saw that earlier today, and they are going to suffer a morale hit, and they're going to notice that after a while. They're going to start losing cities, which is just going to be fantastic. They're not going to be able to maintain morale. So let's give you some samples. Sofia might take that, but 32%. Nice, 29%. Zajakar, 33%. We've got Timisoara, Tim's namesake, 37%. Lviv Complex, 39%. Resniki Complex, 49%. They're going to have a downward trend in morale because he's going to be debuffed for being at war with so many people. And I can tell you what his debuff will be as well. Give me one sec.
It'll be minus
24,
which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Although,
and right, so after nuking you, he'll get minus 1 or 2 for each point of civilians he killed.
He'll get minus what?
Minus 2 for every civilian casualty caused, I believe. It's a lot, basically. If you nuke somebody, then your morale is going to absolutely dive. So I believe him nuking you has done just as much damage to himself as it has to you.
So his morale on every single city is compromised because he's at war with so many people, and also because he's nuked me, he's going to lose a lot of cities. So I need to pump out National Guard and land grab for all I'm worth, because he's gonna have so much going on. What do you think? Or should we just go slow and sure?
Now, pump out all the National Guard. I've got a decent sized army. I'm getting in some theatre defence soon. You've got some decent frigates. If we play it right, we will be able to fight off any attack he has, and it would just be nice to be the one that's actually doing the attacking.
Yeah, we'll flip the tide. Okay, very nice. Well, I've got a big stack now because I brought it up from Mozambique. So I went from having almost nothing to being replenished. I'd forgotten all about them, so that was great. That was a nice one. And my National Guard are already taking back land, so we'll see how long they last before they start getting hit by more missiles. Okay, well, fantastic episode, Jonathan, and what a night of attacking.
Yeah, what a night.
Haha, check out the episodes we made. All right, goodbye from me. Over and out.